What up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of the Blunt Thoughts Show. The show on New York sports. I'll be honest, mainly on our New York Mets is what it's been on, and it's probably what it's going to be most of the time. We will touch on some other going on in New York sports, especially with the Knicks and the Giants when they're in action. But with those guys, I don't like to get too much into the offseason stuff. There's a lot of people out here that do a very good job doing that, and I'll leave that to them. I'm more about the in season and then going on with them and the game to game and stuff like that when it comes to those sports. With the Mets, I definitely do a little bit more. And obviously we're in season with the Mets, so I'm definitely going to be speaking about that. But yeah, so it's been what about 10 days or so since we did episode 3, and in between there we did a live show, and we talked about a few things. We talked about, I didn't even forget what we talked about. But it's a lot of stuff that's gone on even since that live show, which was on Thursday, which was the off day. And yeah, we recapped the whole Washington series and what happened there, and we touched a little bit on the Arizona series also, which when we did this at that time, episode 3, it was a Friday night, and the Mets were in the actually playing Arizona at that time, and they went on to win that game. And since then, they've been 5-3. If you include that first game with Arizona, they were 6-3. And again, we're not going to recap all of that because we spoke about that in episode 3, but we already know they won the first two against Arizona, went on to lose the next two, then went on to win 3 against Washington. Had those 2 days off as they made their way out to London for that trip to go out there and face Philadelphia. First game, they lost that game. Not too much offense from the Mets. Mania, just not good. Just not good. Not able to get out of the third inning. I think it was 3 2/3. I forget the exact numbers. Don't really want to get into all that. As we spoke about that in the roundtable. We done, recaps on that. And maybe I should, right? That's not fair to you guys that are watching here. And thank you guys for watching here, like always. And if you don't, which you probably do, be sure to follow me over on X at HHEC13. And make sure you like and subscribe this and also share it. And now, if for whatever reason, if you're somehow watching this and you haven't found my channel, but you're watching this or whatever, you need to look for my channel because you want to subscribe. The easiest way to find it now, I've searched it myself, is by typing in Blunt Thoughts and at Hector at the end, because some other guy pops up when you just do Blunt Thoughts. But if you add Hector at the end, that I pop right up, my channel pops right up. So make sure you do that, and let's get those subscriptions up. Please help me out. But anyways, yes. So as I was saying, you go out to London, you lose the first game to Philadelphia. Manai didn't put much of a fight, and then the next day you get Quintana, who pretty much does the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I think he also went 3 2/3. It's just these guys. I don't know what it is. They can't throw strikes. They start nibbling. They get into trouble. They start walking guys, and then just get hit around. And obviously, we know Saturday Mania was also hurt by Starling Marte, who we'll talk about in a second. Um, by a misplay by him. And that didn't help. But still, pick your guy up. Pick your guy up. I said it in the roundtable. I said it, I think, even in the video that I did on X. I can't believe with all the maneuvering that the Mets did, all this, changing around and 6-man rotation and this and that, and sending Christian Scott down, who they probably should have kept up. Shout out to my guy Chris CP from the roundtable, who kept saying how upset he was that they sent Christian Scott down. And he turned out to be right. And I can't believe that the Mets actually had it lined up for these two guys to pitch back to back. I can't believe they pitch back to back anyways in the rotation, honestly. These guys should not be going back to back in the rotation. But for you to take both of these guys out there to London to go face the Phillies, that was bad planning, in my opinion, honestly. But they did it. But, and also thankfully, in that second game, the offense was able to come through. You know what I'm saying? Couple of big hits. And then really besides the offense, the biggest play of all was Terrence with that double play to end the game. Where, at first, when it first happened, you didn't really see what happened. You just saw the play and you were happy that he completed that play. It was heads up. It was as much mental as it was physical. You don't see many catchers be able to do that. But we also were able to see on the replay where he was taken out a little bit. And you also see right away the way he reacted and the way he got up limping and stuff. So, and at first, To be honest, guys, I didn't think the play was that big a deal. I really didn't. But watching the replay, watching a certain few angles, I can see why people are upset, especially with the rules nowadays. Like for me, I grew up playing the game a different way. So it's just hard nosed baseball, trying to break up a double play. And I can't knock the other guy for trying to do that. I give my guy props to be able to withstand that and complete the play, and props to Pete for also being able to, complete the second half of the play, because he also had not a scoop, but it was a low throw on the ground, and he was able to hold on to it with everything that was going on. So shout out to all of them on that. But really, I didn't want to do game breakdowns and all of that right now. Maybe we'll do something different when we really break down games. But I just really want to talk about the goings ons. You know what I'm saying? What's happened lately with the Mets. But with that, like we said, 28-36 now, 6-3 in their last nine. They come home now. They face the Marlins. They face the Padres. The Marlins, a team who is just not good, right? They're in the transition. They're whatever they're doing. They're 22-43. I think there's something like 3-7 in their last 10. The Padres 35-35. They're like 4-6 in their last 10. So this is a chance. This is a time because the league is keeping you alive, right? Not because of the way this team is playing. It's not because of the way this team is playing. Because this team does not deserve to make a playoff based on the way they're playing. Now that can change. That can change, and it has a little bit. It has a little bit with the additions that they've made with Terrens and Iglesias and all of that stuff. And the hitting has been a little bit better. Lindor's been better since he's been put in the leadoff spot. Nemo not so much since he's been dropped to the 3-hole. Vientos has come up from the minor leagues and given his team a big jolt. You know what I'm saying? So all of that's been good, but you have to keep it going now. You have to keep it going now. And you have a chance now with the teams that you're facing who are maybe the Padres right around your level, right? The Marlins, like we said, a team that's just trying to get to next year and the year beyond that and trying to see what they have, right? They're in the transition. They're going young, whatever the case may be. But it's also a team that always gives the Mets a tough time. Even the Padres, too. They give the Mets a tough time. And it's also at home where the Mets seem to struggle. As much as they've been doing well offensively, 3 of those games were out in Washington. They scored 7 runs on Sunday out in London. I want to see them do it out here in New York. Let's see this offense be able to get something going out here in New York consistently, where they struggle. And they talk about struggling. And I know some fans don't like it. They get upset about it and all that stuff, but it's the reality. You know what I'm saying? Now, we talked about Vientos coming up for the minors and giving them a jolt. They have somebody else coming back. You know what I'm saying? And my guy, Francisco Alvarez. Now, we have to be fair. Right? He's just coming back. We can't expect them to go off and go crazy and start hitting home runs all over the place. The reality is that he was struggling when he got injured, right? It's not like he got off to a great start. He only has 1 home run. He wasn't doing too great. He wasn't having good at bats. I remember doing a video where I was saying, like, Francisco Alvarez is, as much as I love him, he pisses me off, especially with men on base when he seems to roll over a lot and hit a ground ball to short for a double play or whatever the case may be, or to end the inning if it's 2 outs or whatever, but just not get the job done, you know? So, but we're still happy to have him back. And he also provides a lot of energy and leadership that I feel we've missed, and game calling as far as catching and defense behind the plate. Maybe his throwing wasn't great, but we know it could be there. He has a good arm. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of continuity, getting out there, working on things. We know he's worked on things, the whole knee down, knee up, whatever the case may be. Trying to get a little bit more in position to throw when guys are running, all of that good stuff. But we definitely miss the leadership. So definitely happy to have him back for that. And hopefully he continues what he was doing as long as that goes. And hopefully the offense doesn't take too long, coming along too. Because we can use it. And with him in the lineup, now the lineup gets even longer. We'll see where they put him in the lineup. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie to you guys. As I'm doing this, I'm actually watching the game, to be honest with you. So I know what the lineup is. So we'll even talk about it. He's batting 8th in the lineup today, which, whatever, you know what I'm saying? He could work his way up. He will work his way up. But think about that. Francisco Alvarez is batting eighth. You know, that's a deep lineup, ladies and gentlemen. That's something good to have. So happy to have him back. Let's see how long it takes for him to get integrated, but it shouldn't take too long. Hopefully. And as far as defense and leadership, he'll pick up right where he left off. So that's a good thing. But with Francisco Alvarez coming back, there was a move that needed to be made, right? And we talked about it. I've talked about it. Everybody's talked about it. We talked about it on the round table. We speculated, and everybody's been impressed with what this guy Luis Torrens has done. You know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of people that have been done with Tomas Nido for a long time. Me personally, I think Tomas Nido has been a heck of a backup, to be honest with you. Um, has he been pressed into duty and maybe had to play more than he should, or more than we wanted him to, more than probably the Mets wanted him to? Yeah, that's fair. I would agree with that. And that's probably exposed him a little bit and stuff. And it's caused the frustration that everybody has with him, rightfully so. And then we know he dealt with the eye stuff and stuff like that last year, so that affected him a little bit. But Torrens came up here, and credit to him, he took a job. He took a job. He said, "There's a job here to have it. I'm going to do my best to take that job." And he did it, especially with that play Sunday night. And the dude has been hitting. The dude has been hitting at an unreal clip, right? A pace that he's not going to be able to keep up. Let's be honest. He's not going to be able to keep up that pace. But he's done well. He's done well. And he earned himself a job. And, Tomas Nido's been around for a long time. Maybe it was time to move on. It's also a matter of he's out of options, so you have no choice but to DFA him. The way he has enough service time now where he can refuse an assignment once if nobody picks him up or anything like that, if they don't work out a trade. Hopefully they're able to work out a trade. There might be a team out there that needs a backup catcher. I don't think you work out a trade with the Phillies, but I don't know how long he's going to be out, if he's going to be out or whatever the case may be, but Real Muto just had some kind of surgery today on his knee. So maybe the Phillies need a catcher. Maybe the Phillies give you something. I don't know. Cash, whatever the hell it is. Maybe some minor league guys. We have people in place now that maybe are able to find a diamond in the rough in the minor leagues and go get him for Tomas Nido. In a couple of years, we're talking about, oh my gosh, look what we got for Tomas Nido. After all that time that we spent bashing Tomas Nido, he actually paid dividends, But shout out to Tomas Nido. He actually put out a nice message today thanking the fans. You know what? Tomas Nido, for me, thank you, brother. Thank you for always being a stand-up guy. Thank you for stepping up when we needed you. Like I said, I always thought you were a good backup. You were a good backup. Just had to play a little bit more than you probably should have. But that's no knock on you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you. And good luck wherever you go, man. Good luck wherever you go. The other thing I wanted to touch on from the weekend was, and I touched on it a little bit before, I mentioned it a little bit before, and is Starling Marte. And it's, we saw the play on Sunday and we heard his explanation. A lot of people are not buying the explanation. The play where it seemed like he was shaded over towards right center. It's a play that was over more towards right field, towards the right field line. I'm not going to say it was down the line or anything like that. And we know Marte seems a little iffy when he's going towards the wall, whether it be behind him or whether it be down the line. He just doesn't seem to want to get into the wall, and I don't knock him for that. I really don't knock him for that. But that play, when you watch it, it's like, what the hell is going on, dude? And on its surface, on its own, it's like, yo, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable, right? But then we find out after the game where he talked about, honestly, had a hard time seeing the ball. We all had a hard time seeing the ball. Then Mendoza talked about how he confirmed that with Bader, and Nimmo was the only one that was actually able to see the ball. For whatever reason, the way the stadium is set up, the sun didn't bother him, but it was directly in these guys' eyes. Is that an excuse? I mean, you're a major leaguer, right? It was already the third inning. I'm not sure. I can't remember if he had glasses on or nothing, but at the same time, it's a different place. You're not used to playing in the stadium. You know what I'm saying? So I could understand it. And then he also talked about how he hasn't totally been happy or in agreement with the way they're setting them up out there, right? With the positioning they have on the cards, which again is something everybody wants to dismiss. But to me, it's like it's an eye opener. It's like, wait a minute, because I always talk about this. You can work as hard as you want. You can talk about all the processes you want. You can have all the pitching labs you want. You can have all the numbers, all the analytics people, everything in the world, all the best of it. If you're not using it properly, then it doesn't matter, right? So if you have all these numbers, but you're not positioning your guys in the right place, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how hard they play, you know. But to people, and sometimes, like I remember, and I'm not gonna compare. I'm not comparing these two guys, but I remember Robinson Cano had a reputation. People say, "Oh, he's lazy, he's nonchalant, he's this, he's that," but that was just the way that he was. And the dude was a heck of a player and will make some phenomenal plays at second base. Now, again, especially at this point in his career, Marte is not that, but we have seen him make some very good plays. We have seen him make some good throws, which is obviously his strongest suit right now out there in the outfield, you know? And the guy's hitting too right now. So I don't think he's lazy. I don't think he's disinterested. I think maybe he might be bothered with what stuff that's going on. We saw a few days before that, where him and Beta came together and he wasn't too happy. But that also makes me think and tells you, you know what? Why are those guys coming together so closely so much? And if they are coming together so much, then that tells you they maybe they're too close. And maybe Marte can move over a little bit towards the line because Beta can cover that much ground and he can also cover that much ground. Where they don't need to be that close in the gaps. I don't know. But I don't just dismiss that like most people want to do. Because that's the thing. We have certain guys right now where we don't want to hear anything they have to say. And I admit they've played bad. But Marte really hasn't played bad. Shoot. You could probably argue that Starling Marte's been our most consistent hitter this year. I don't have it right in front of me now. I could probably check. But Starling Marte led this team in batting average for a while. And I know who cares about batting average. But he did. But he did. You know, so Marte's been a good player. It's just there's these moments where you're like, dude, what the heck is going on? And then on top of that, I almost forgot they were dealing with a rubber outfield out there or rubber turf. That ball was taking some crazy hops in the outfield. So I'm pretty sure he has that on his mind. I think he mentioned that too. You know what I mean? And we even saw the next day where one of the Phillies outfielders had a tough time and the ball bounced over his head, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not going to dismiss it. I'm not excusing it. You need to be better than that, Starling Marte. And if you had a problem with the positioning and all of that good stuff, why did it take this long for you to say something? And if he had said something, then why hadn't this been resolved? Which is a whole nother conversation to begin with, or altogether, I should say. You know? And it's something that, again, we could talk about processes. You could talk to me about how hard you work. You could talk to me about all of that stuff. Let me give you guys a quick example of what I mean. When you can work as hard as you want, if you're doing things wrong, it doesn't matter. And we all know it because we all been through it, right? But I recently been through it where I was building a desk, right? And because I made one simple mistake, it cost me about 30 to 40 minutes, right? Because I was almost at a final stage where I had to add like a platform to the desk on the bottom of it, and it wasn't lining up right. And I thought it was because I needed help holding it, and I wasn't able to put it in a position. And I kept trying and trying and trying and using all kinds of things to prop it up, and it just wasn't making sense. But sometimes you just work hard and not smart, and you don't think, right? And then I finally stopped to think, and I said, "Wait a minute, look at this diagram again. There's just something not right." And besides that, look at this desk again. When I realized it, I had attached one of the legs facing the wrong way. So because the leg is facing the wrong way, obviously nothing else aligns. Once we figured that out, done. Right? But the moral of the story is you can work as hard as you want. If you're not working right, it doesn't matter. Right? And then another thing I wanted to touch on, and I believe we touched on it a little bit during the live, is the whole situation with my guy, Jeff McNeil. And the question is Jeff McNeil in the platoon? I think that's pretty much been answered. When a guy sits, what was it, 4 days in a row, 5 out of 6 games, whatever the hell the numbers are, he's not your everyday second baseman. Mendoza, I like you. I really do. I like you. I like your style. I like your energy. A little rough on the edges, but that's to be expected for a rookie manager. But don't BS me, brother. Do not BS me. Jeff McNeil is not your second baseman. It's obvious. And it's okay. You know what? It's okay. Iglesias came up here, like Terrence has done his thing, has almost taken the job away from Jeff McNeil. Luckily for Jeff McNeil, he's a left-handed hitter, and there are a lot more right-handers. But guess what, Jeff McNeil? If you don't start hitting against right-handers, you might find your ass on the bench with them guys too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you ask me, Jeff McNeil is definitely in the platoon with Jose Iglesias or Julio Iglesias, whatever the heck his name is, Jose Iglesias. I'm getting confused with the singer, El Puma, Jose Iglesias, for my Latinos out there. You know who I'm talking about. But yeah, man, not gonna beat a dead horse. McNeil put himself in the situation. I've been a big McNeil guy. I'll say it again. It's probably time to move on. It's probably been time to move on. It'll be addition by subtraction. Maybe he can bring you something that'll help you this year and in the future. I don't know. That's David Stern's job to figure it out. What I do know, it seems like Jeff McNeil's time is done. Now, credit to him. It seems like he's handling it right. And when he finally got his start on Sunday after not playing for a week, ended up with 2 hits. I know. A little bloop, jam shot, whatever the hell you want to call it, a C9 single. But the C9 single was clutch. It was big. It started the rally. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to him. Shout out to him for how he handled himself, how he spoke in the press conference and all that. That was pretty good. Oh, again, guys, full disclosure, I am watching the game here on this Tuesday evening. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. I don't want to talk about that here. But we're almost going to get out of here. Want to keep this under 30 minutes. And again, I just want to, a lot of stuff happened over this weekend. Besides, going out there and showcasing the game. And listen, let me be fair. I kept saying, don't go out there and embarrass yourselves. And after that first game, it was looking embarrassing. And even game 2 almost was going to turn embarrassing. But credit to them, they kept fighting, and they were able to come through and come off with a W. The last thing I want to touch on before we get out of here, real quick, is a guy that we've mentioned a couple of times. It's a guy that, like I said, I cannot believe we had him set up to be one of the pitchers out there. Both of those guys should not pitch out there. Maybe one of them. I don't know which one, honestly. I don't know which one. Maybe Manaya, who's been a little bit better, to be honest. But might also end up in the bullpen. And that's the thing. And as you can say here, the question is, should Jose Quintana even get another start right now? Should he get another start right now? And if you ask me, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not right now. And then the next question is, what do you do with him? Do you put him in the pen? Do you DFA him? I think he's pitched to the bullpen before. So maybe you try that and you try to bolster your bullpen that way, and he could become another lefty out of the pen. But can you trust him right now with his biggest problem being able to throw strikes? So now you're limiting yourself because you could probably don't want to bring him in with men on base. So is that something that you do? Did you try to trade him? Again, selling low? Do you really want to sell low on all these guys? Do you hold on to him and hope that he can figure it out as the veteran pitcher that he is? But man, he's been bad pretty much all year. So how long do you wait? I probably should have checked again. I'm not sure if he has options. I would probably guess that he doesn't. So I don't think you could just send him to the minors. So then the other thing would be to DFA him. And honestly, I wouldn't miss him. I wouldn't miss him. But I also don't know if that's good business, right? I also don't know if that's good business. So maybe you keep him around. Hey, we know what happened. And the eyes are probably on them, while at the same time, the eyes may not be on them. And hey, we can argue, we can talk about, we can speculate. And maybe after the way he looked today, I don't really know the numbers, but it looked like he didn't look too good. But we can speculate whether my guy Edwin Diaz is right now on one of those phantom IL stints. Or maybe we would come up with a phantom IL stint for my dude Quintana here to go down and figure things out for a bit. Because he sure as heck should not be getting another start. And I know Christian Scott started today, so he can't pitch until Sunday. And Jose Quintana's next day lined up would be Friday. Ugh, I don't want to see that dude again. I really don't. So I hope they can figure something out. I really do. But yeah, that's really the things that I wanted to talk about real quick. I just wanted to share some expanded thoughts on that if I could. But going forward, guys, and just on the overall picture, and again, you're not going to hear too much trade talk from me. I mean, not too much trade talk, but you're not going to hear trade deadline talk or wanting guys to do good so that they can get their value up so we can get some prospects for them and all of that nonsense. You're not going to get that from me. I'm of the mindset of Steve Cohen before Steve Cohen said it, where that is too far away for me to think about that. There's too much baseball to be played for me to think about that. This league is bad enough for me to be thinking about the trade deadline. No, the reality is, yes, the New York Mets so far do not deserve any playoffs. But they have a chance to change that because they have guys that are better than what they've played. And if those guys finally wake the hell up and play the way they're supposed to play, then guess what? You could go on a run. But what you can't do is ruin the 6-3 that you're on right now. Right? You can't go 6-3, and like we talked about before, when they went on the nice little run and ruin it by not going out and losing your next 3 series and going 3-7 over your next 10. That is what you can't do. You cannot continue to do that. What you need to do now is go on a run yourself when you win series after series after series, and maybe you lose 1 after you won 4, and then you win the next 3. Not that you win 3 and then you lose the next 4 series. Okay? Not that you win 4 games, 5 games, and then you lose the next 4, like you've been doing so far. So this is what we need to see from this team. This is it right here. This is your chance to finally show and do something. Are you going to keep being that team that got punched in the face, got punched in the mouth, got punched in the gut, got punched wherever the hell you want to say in September 22 by the Atlanta Braves and hasn't been able to get up? Are you going to be that bully that finally got hit and everybody's seen you get hit, so now everybody just pushes you around? Are you going to continue to be that team? Or are you going to finally give us a reason and give this front office a reason to really keep you guys together? Because if not, it's going to get real ugly around here. It's going to get real ugly around here. But on that note, we're about to hit 30 minutes. So we're going to try to keep it at 30 minutes. We're going to go a little bit over as we say goodbye. But again, thank you guys for joining me. Share your comments. You know, if you have any questions, you have anything to say about what I've said, you agree to disagree, whatever the case may be, let it be known. I'll check it out. I'll check it out later. Uh, if you're not, follow me on X, the whole like and subscribe, all of that good stuff. And listen, like I said, on the comments, let me know how can I be better. What do you want me to do better? You want me to give you more stats? I actually had something that I want to share, but I said, what the hell? But you want me to, and I'm working on things. I'm working on things, better intro, all that good stuff. You want me to stop doing this? You can say that too. I probably won't listen to you because I'm having fun. But nah, man. Thank you, like always, for tuning in. Like always, let's go, Mets. Let's make this for fun summer. It's officially not summer yet. I know we think it's summer, Memorial Day weekend, or let's go, it's summertime, but it's really not summer yet. There's a lot of baseball to be played. There's a lot of baseball before the All-Star break, and there's a lot of baseball before the trade deadline. The ball is in your court. You control your own destiny. You control your own destiny. What are you going to do? We'll be here watching. I don't know how much longer. What are you going to do? Anyways, everybody, see you guys in about a week. We're going to try to do these maybe once a week, twice a week. I know we've been doing them twice a week. We're going to stick some lives in there. We're going to try to do a live watch along. I keep talking about that. I was going to try to do it today, but we're going to try to keep doing it. Try to do a live watch along where we watch the game together and we can kick it while the game is going on. But again, I keep saying I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Everybody have a good night. And we'll see you next time. Let's go Mets, baby. Peace.